Hi everyone, it's Amanda. It's the 7th of March 2018 and I am making a video rather unexpectedly because since I got up this morning I just have 3 words, no I think it's 2 words in my mind and they won't go away. So I'm going to have to say something about them, and the words are choice point times. Okay, choice point times. I think it was something that I alluded to in another video recently, but then for whatever reason didn't actually follow through and talk about it just because the energy wasn't there. Well, the energy seems to be here today, and so I'm just going to channel through whatever is meant to come through. Those of you that know me, hi. Those of you that have just stumbled upon this channel, hello as well. My name is Amanda. I work with the energy of Archangel Metatron, many other ascended energies as well, and archangels, but today this feels particularly a message coming through from Metatron, Christ, and also Mary Magdalene's got 3 of them here, and I'm looking down at some cards that I just pulled from the Magdalene Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno, just as I was sitting here thinking, well, why are they wanting me to talk about choice point times? I know I have some few personal things that I can relay as examples to it, and come to that later, but you know, why? What's all this about? And it seems to be linked into the colour that I'm wearing as well, which is quite interesting, which they're calling mustard, okay? And I woke up this morning and, oh, you know, breakfast TV was on, and there was a lady there in a mustard coloured jacket. Didn't pay an awful lot of attention to it, but then suddenly they started to talk about the colour a little bit, just that it was very in fashion. It's the colour that we're all supposed to be wearing, apparently. And I thought, oh, well, I don't suit yellow, that's not going to work for me. And then I went to the gym and did some shopping on the way back, and I just saw this jumper. It was only cheap, it was just a cheapy one, but I had to get it. I had to get it. And I came home, I took off what I was wearing, and I had to put this top on to talk to you. And then I've pulled the cards, and just look at the colours of the cards that I've chosen. That one, obviously maybe a slightly different message. That's about intimacy, it's more the reds. This one also came up, which I want to mention, because this colour, which they're calling mustard, but it looks pretty gold to me. It's like a goldy colour. The complementary colour of that is the royal blue. So seems to be the part of the colour spectrum that has a message for us today. The cards in particular that match particularly what I'm wearing and the energy of what I'm trying to bring through here are the card of miracles and the card of resurrection. So this feels as though this video needs to be done today because we are in the run-up to Easter. We're in the run-up to the rebirth of Easter that is falling early this year. Right at the end of March, we have Good Friday, and then Easter Sunday is on April the 1st. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be a Christian to feel the full benefits of the portal of light that opens every single Easter. But it's early this year, and it seems to be particularly linked into this colour. So what the hell is going on? Let me just talk for a little bit, and as the information comes through, the way I work, it will just flow. Choice point times, a few things that I've observed in my own life and in the life of other people since 2018 began, but this energy is really ramping up right now, is that we are collectively, Metatron is saying, but we are also personally at a choice point moment in life. Now, the choice point moment collectively probably is linked into the birth of the divine feminine energy, embodied right now by the Mary Magdalene energy. She is not the only example, obviously, of the divine feminine archetype out there. There are many others. Those of you watching this may well be linked into energies such as Kuan Yin, or you may be linked into the shamanic energies of Mother Earth. Mother Mary is really very, very strong as well. I mean, I keep saying I don't want to make any more sprays to the collection I've already got, because I think we're at about 41 now. But I think what's probably going to happen is I might withdraw a couple, which I won't mention now, and definitely the Mother Mary energy is going to have to be birthed, because I can't ignore the call anymore. So she's another example. But we've got Mary Magdalene right now. I don't know if this is a worldwide thing, but March the 16th there is the Mary Magdalene film coming out, big Hollywood blockbuster. And that says something to me in itself, you know. Why now? And I was lucky enough to catch the end of an interview with the director of that particular new film that's coming out about Mary, and he was asked that question, why now? And whether he used the word choice point or not, I'm not quite sure, but that's effectively what he was getting at, that this is a pivotal moment. He looked and he thought, why has this story never been told before? Now, it might not tell the full story of everything that we may believe as a spiritual community about this particular woman and this particular energy, but it is groundbreaking that it's coming out right now. And it's coming out at the time of the death throes of this old male paradigm. And he used those words as well. So there is a rebirth right now happening for the Divine Feminine. Things are really being shaken up. And the old patriarchal energies, which also link into control, and control particularly actually is the one word I'm hearing, are exerting one last crack of the whip, basically. It won't work. It's not going to thwart what needs to come in our world. So that's happening collectively, and I'll say much more on this because I want to probably do a series of videos about Mary Magdalene more towards Easter time. That will happen, and I might even put them up on an alternative platform as well, because I'm experimenting at the moment with other platforms, not just YouTube, because of what's been happening with my own channel where I've been penalised, and it just feels as though, again, this is another choice point moment. I will just explain to you, because when it first happened and my video got removed and deleted, and you know, I've received a penalty strike on my account, 2 more and your account gets wiped out basically and your work gets lost. I thought, okay, well, I'll be a good girl, you know, I'll just play by the rules. I won't say anything controversial. I'll play it safe. And it's been very interesting watching this energy just rise within me over the last 3 days, over the weekend, which is just this, the only way I can describe it is it feels like a rebellious, revolutionary energy that I didn't actually even know I had within me, to be perfectly honest. Although looking back, I'm quite a strong woman and I've achieved quite a lot, so I guess it was always there, but I've never acknowledged its presence before. And I'm now looking at it and I'm thinking, no, how dare I be censored? How dare somebody, not even somebody, you know, just a faceless energy come in and try to stop the freedom of speech, which is so important and upon which our world needs to be based. And if you remember the end of the video that got deleted, I showed you all how to make a grid so that you could speak your truth. That's a big part, I think, probably why it got taken down energetically. And so this energy has just been coming up and fueled a little bit by anger, but anger can be a good thing. It doesn't have to be a destructive, ugly thing. It can be something that propels you to stand up for yourself. And I'm feeling that very strongly. And it is this rise of this very sort of strong warrior female spirit that says, no, I'm not going to be silenced anymore. I'm not going to be gagged. You can't do that to me. And I know it's not just me that's having this whole experience at the moment with social media. There are men also who are being silenced. But again, it's the same energy really that is rising up within them, that is saying, no, I won't be thwarted. You know, there's a new energy in town, and it's about truth and clarity and integrity, and we have to stand by that. So I've been interested watching this change within myself, and it's a choice point moment. It really is a choice point moment, because I have a choice to be silent and just sort of go back under the duvet cover and pretend, you know, let somebody else get on with it, or I have a choice to keep on speaking, find new platforms, grow my audience, do what Spirit wants me to do, and I absolutely will do the latter. So that's a choice point in my own life. But I'm also seeing it in relationships, things that maybe have felt that they were on their last legs suddenly being resurrected, but there's a choice point moment. Do you stick with it or don't you? Choice point moments in terms of career, choice point moments in terms of behaviour. What are you prepared to put up with, and what are you not prepared to put up with anymore? And I just think these are very, very powerful days. I think March is a really powerful month. I can't remember the cards that I even pulled through for March, to be honest with you, in the first video I did. But the one that I see in my mind's eye now is one which shows a figure, and she's standing before effectively what looks like a dead end. There's a tree in front of her, and she can't go on the way that she's been carrying on. The way forward is blocked, so she has to find another way. And either way is actually okay. But it's about the fact that you can't carry on in the old energy, in the old way of doing things. And I think this is coming up for so many of us at the moment in our lives. And it really isn't to be feared. It really is to be celebrated. There was a book, wasn't there, that came out a couple of years ago called Choice Point. And maybe rather arrogantly, I threw it out. I had it in my home for a while, and I read it and I thought, well, there's nothing new in here. Although it had Branson in it, and I really like Richard Branson. He's controversial as well, but you know, I don't care. You know, I like him. To me, he's a good guy. So I'll nail my colours to the mast with that one. But yeah, I think I threw the book out, or I gave it away to a jumble sale. And I looked for it today and I thought, why didn't I keep it? You know, why did I throw that away? So those of you that know the book, maybe have a look at that. Again, it just talks about society being at this choice point moment. Let's bring in Metatron. Let's see what he has to say on all this. Because before I even spray the spray, you know, there is this strength that I'm feeling within myself, and I hope that you are also feeling as well, is coming from him, okay? Not going to be allowed to be the wobbly jelly, not going to be allowed to go into fear, not going to be allowed to be the victim that just says, oh, well, oh dear, that's just the way the world is now. No, you know, there is this new energy in town that is strident, that will speak for what is right, what is about love. And it's infectious, is what he's saying, okay? But it's his light that is sparking this within ourselves. Choice point, Metatron. There has never been a moment that is as big as the one that we are now experiencing in terms of choice point for humanity and for your own life. If you could see the scale of what lies potentially in front of you in terms of transformation, change, revolution, all to bring in the new, you would be amazed. And if you equally looked behind you and saw the long and arduous journey that you have already done, not just in this life, but in many previous lives as well, you would be astounded at the stamina and the strength and the courage and the light that has got you to this point that you are now at. Do not give up at the last hurdle. The hurdle is only as high as you perceive it to be. And he's given me the analogy of walking on hot coals. Something that looks impossible, something that looks like a dead end. It's about the power of the mind, and it's about the conviction of your spirit that is able to turn something which looks challenging, and that's going to be different for everybody, to something where you rise to the occasion, you link in to this unquenchable strength of spirit within yourself that has laid dormant for decades. He's talking about that for most of us, generationally he's talking, we haven't been tested. I'm being shown the last 2 world wars in particular. And I'll talk particularly about the Second World War, because that's what he's showing me, although he's also referring back to the First. During the Second World War, the whole of society transformed. It changed. Women, as an example, came out from the kitchens and the nurseries and had to become code readers, labourers on the farm, people that went into factories to make what was needed to keep society going. It was a moment in time where everything shifted, and it never went back to where it had been before. And both men who had to go to war, women who stayed at home, children who had to be evacuated to different parts of the country, away from their family, away from their friends. It was a huge test of character for all of the countries that were involved and for the world itself. He's not really talking about the fighting and the right and wrong of it. He's more talking about the resilience of the human spirit that saw. He's showing me the Blitz in London, for example. I can't remember how many days London was bombed, but it was relentless. But Londoners, and not just Londoners, many other places around the country, dug deep, literally, physically and symbolically and mentally, and survived. And he's saying, of course, this is still happening in other parts of the world. He's showing me Syria. He's showing me towns which are, we know, are decimated by war and fighting. Look at this card that's sitting on my desk. It's the card of war and peace. It's happening now in our world. But somehow the human spirit survives. And it doesn't mean that war happens again, but it does mean that we are at a time right now which is going to be a test for it's going to be that test for the human spirit again. And make no mistake about it, he says, you will rise to the challenge. The card of resurrection and miracles. You will be astounded at the strength of humanity and the goodness of humanity and the love that humanity holds for each other. But it just feels as though there is something to come in soon. And we are not to go into fear. We are ready for all of it. What else? But you do have a choice, actually, he's saying. Again, he's going back to choice point. There is a choice that you can have, actually, to either go into fear and let somebody else pick up the pieces, be the support, be the help, be the voice for those that need a voice, that haven't got one. You can be that. You can sink. You know, you can sink into fear and not do that, or you can rise to the challenge. These are times to rise to the challenge in your own life and collectively. Let's go back to your personal life now. Rising to the challenge in your own personal life. I receive a lot of emails every single day, so I have a pretty good feel for what's going on out there. And I know there's a lot of people going through relationship breakup. There are a lot of people who are grieving. There are people who are ill. These things I know always happen, but it's an acceleration. I had a message from one of you yesterday who had exactly the right attitude. a relationship that's broken up, a long-term relationship that's broken up. And she just said to me, and you're probably watching it, hello, you know who you are. She said, the universe took care of it, Amanda. And I knew what she meant by that. It was a situation that had been very damaging to her for a long time, but she'd clung on with hope, but it wasn't right for this next stage of her journey. And so the universe took care of it. The universe didn't come in and deliberately try to hurt her or harm her. It brought to an end something that needed to be brought to an end. It's now a choice point moment. Do you sink? Do you swim? She'll swim. I know she will. Another example that comes to me, I'm thinking from my own circle of family and friends, is that it's somebody's mum. It's not my mum. It's somebody else's mum that I know, who lost her husband of 50 plus years, just before Christmas. And I went to this person's funeral, and the widowed wife was there, very old, certainly 90, in a wheelchair, looked so lost and forlorn and unwell. And my gut feel was, you're probably not going to be here much longer, because that was the energy of it. But she had a choice point, again, choice point time in her own life, to stay a little bit longer, however, whatever that means, to the natural conclusion of her life, as long as possible, or to just choose a slow, quiet exit. I don't mean suicide by that. I just mean just to stop wanting to live. And then at that age, you know, you can manifestation can happen quite quickly, for good, for bad. And I saw her a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it. She had just really risen to the challenge. You know, she'd been out to the shops a few times. She was still enjoying her life to the ability that she could. And I really thought, wow, well done. You know, well done. There was a clear choice point moment there. She could have sunk, she could have swum, and she's swimming. So this is happening in so many different circumstances for so many different people. And I just want you to think about that now. And I hope that it's resonating with some of you out there. I think it probably is. Know that these are times that anything that's happening right now is meant to be happening. Endings, things that are ending are meant to be ending. But there will be the new beginning that follows. There will be the resurrection, and there will be miracles. Okay? Anything else, Metatron? I want to get this video up and just make it a short one today. Anything else today that needs to be said? He said choice point times also links into politics, it links into religion, it links into every single facet of life. It's about how you choose to live your life as well. Are you ever going to really start to look after yourself, or are you not? Yeah, as an example, I woke up this morning and I got so much work to do. I'm really behind as always, and got so much work to do. And really, I should have been sitting at my desk at 8:30, getting on with it. And I thought, no, I need to go to the gym. I want to go to the gym. Well, I sort of thought that, but there was another half of me that thought, I really don't want to. Come on, we all know that feeling. But it was a choice point moment. I thought, if you're not going to do it now, when the hell are you going to do it? Stop making excuses, just do it. We have a choice point in every moment. Are we going to reach for the sky, or are we going to sink down into the ground? So, keep strong, everybody. Lots of love. I strongly feel that we get through this year together, and that all will be well. But just think about choice point. What does it mean to you? Does it resonate with your life? Choose the higher path, Metatron is saying. Much love, everyone. Bye.